Hey everybody, I'm Chris Niosi, creator, animator, writer, and voice of Crow on Tome. This is the episode 5 commentary, Awaken the Beast, and on this commentary I am joined by...
I am Weston Durant, aka Kadget, Kajeto-kun, Kajmaster Kadget, the over 9,000 guide, the guy who does music for Tome.
That's how many titles was that? Like 5, 6?
I don't know. Like, I've been called like 3 different things. It's either Kadget, Kajeto-kun, or Kajmaster Kadget.
Kadget's
fine.
I call him West, except
you can call me West. Actually.
I don't ever call him West. That's not true. Alrighty, so this is episode 5. This is one of my personal favorites. We took a little break after episode 4 was out. I was busy over the summer with some freelance gigs, and then when the fall of 2012 was coming up, I'm like, I'm gonna jump back into it. So I started doing this episode, and I'm really proud of it. This is one of my personal favorites. And I thought for these commentaries I'd take some time to talk with some of the staff members, such as Gadget, to talk about how the individual elements of Tome are created. So how we met has to do with actually this character with the green hair talking here, voiced by Psy Guy. So Psy invited Kadget to be on this podcast we do called Wachow. This was many years ago now, like a long time ago. And we had Kadget on the show because we wanted to interview him for his videos. You know, obviously he mentioned he did the Over 9,000 video and a lot of other stuff on YouTube you've probably seen. And when we were interviewing him, we found out that he did music. And so he was like, oh yeah, here's my Newgrounds profile. And I checked out some of his stuff. And I am a big fan of like 16-bit Super Nintendo-esque kind of stuff, and Kadget's music I just fell in love with. So when I was starting up conceptualizing this process, even back when I wanted to do it as a game still, before doing it as a show, I really wanted to use Kadget's music. So when I went into doing it, I approached him about it. And then, I guess, do you want to talk a little bit about Dimensional Force of Oxnard? Because that kind of plays into this.
Well, yeah, that thing was just something I was like, while bored in class, I'd be like doodling on my notepad, and like after school, I'd like, for some reason, I always be inspired for like the kind of music it's the 16-bit era, like Super Nintendo kind of stuff. I also like a lot of 8-bit stuff. Actually, a lot of times when I make music, I'm very inspired by the way Capcom does music. Like because of if you go to like Mega Man or Street Fighter, like most of the Capcom games, their songs have usually they have very very strong melodies. It's usually about the melodies instead of like mood music. It's kind of mood music, but it's usually like carried by the melody. You could actually probably like tack on lyrics to it or something. That's kind of what I got. So I used to just kind of sit, like I found some like sound fonts on the internet somewhere. I don't know where, I don't remember where, but I plugged it into Fruity Loops and I just started messing around with it, and then I just started making a lot of songs. It actually started, now that I think of it, actually started when I was like really young. I think I was like I was like probably like middle school, like 6th grade or something. I started messing around with MIDI music. Not even like the sound fonts and stuff on Fruity Loops. It was literally, I was just doing stuff using like basic crappy MIDI sounds, like. And but what ended up happening for a lot of my songs actually is later on, when I figured out stuff about Fruity Loops when I'm like older, I actually found my old MIDI files, and you can actually just plug them in, put them in Fruity Loops, and just put the instruments right back onto it and like finagle it and make it sound better. And that's how I'm trying to think of an example. I think you used one of them in this episode. Yeah, when I think when Nylok starts talking about like the tournament and what it is, use the one with like I forget which song it was. It was the
Western-esque, I think.
Yeah, the Western-esque one. That one was one I made in like 6th grade, and I just put different instruments onto it like later on. And
okay, cool.
So that was one of them.
Kadget gave me like just a giant folder of all these different music pieces, most of which was all original compositions from this game project that I guess like was not finished or like wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't really like it was kind of a game project. It's like one of those things you do where it's just like I'm gonna work on this thing because it's fun to create things. Like, I had no idea like if I was ever gonna do anything with it, but it was definitely fun to create stuff. Like, it was one of those projects. Yeah, I used to compose stuff as if it was for a video game, or if it was going to be for like I was actually composed, I guess, if it was for like a platform game. And I'd always like make stuff for it, even though I have no idea how to create like a platform game or anything. Like, I would just do it because it was fun and it keeps me alive, you know.
And it keeps me happy because I love all of it. So.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you're finding a use for it. Otherwise, it'd just be sitting there for this it'd just be sitting in a folder for, I guess, me to listen to.
Yeah, I mean, like he sent me the big folder of everything, and like I'm not just like, you know, jerking you here. I like your melodies are like as good as, like, you know, any Capcom game or any,
well, thank you.
classic game that had to work with, you know, as you said, you know, the melody first, because, you know, you're only working with a limited number of sound fonts and whatnot. And you know, when I heard a lot of these themes, I immediately knew, like, okay, that desert theme, that's going to be Nylok's tune. You know, that battle theme, that'll be for, obviously, when they're
I like what you did with it, by the way.
You know, etc. Cool. It all just works so well. And then even what was cooler is having some arrangements after the fact, like okay, this is going to be this character's theme, and then we'll have this version of it, you know, etc. to work with it. And in fact, even that bit you said about you could set lyrics to it. When I heard the title screen theme, immediately I was like, this sounds like a cool, like, anime, you know, theme song.
Yeah.
And I wrote right there when I heard it, even when it was just like a flash file in your DeviantArt or something, I wrote the lyrics to Battle On to that theme. And I was like, Shady, we have to, like, sing this. And so Shady, who voices Alpha, and I performed it, and it was like this is so cool. Interesting thing to note too here. So this track that's playing right now was actually something that was made when we started doing the show. There's a track that'll be playing when, you know, if you're watching this, obviously you've seen it already. If you're listening to this, that is. So we're not spoiling anything. But when Alpha's about to transform into his demon form, there's this really tribal theme called "Awaken the Beast," which is this episode is named after.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. And when I heard that, I'm like, that has to be when Alpha finally turns into Demon Alpha, which was the big turning point for this episode, one of the big turning points. And so when we did the first episode, I wanted like this creepy, you know, looming kind of version of it, with, you know, the same melody, so that it would be consistent when you hear the do 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 do, you know that it's in reference to the forbidden power, with the thing, etc. And so I had him do this creeping I forget, like, I think I gave you some reference on what I was looking for.
You pretty much told me like a creepy version of Oasis. I think that's pretty much what you gave me. Like, usually what Kerberfer will do for me, if he wants me to change something part of a song, he'll send me like a wave file of him singing what he wants, and I'm like, oh, I can do that. Like, like, it's actually pretty handy. It's like, oh, can you do it like this?
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, when we did Battle On,
yeah, I can do that.
there was no cutoff for Battle On. It just looped, or for the title screen thing. So I sang a part of it at the end where it's like da 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 da. Can you end it like that? And then he's like, yeah, I know exactly what you need. Done.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. That's probably the best way to do it, by the way. Like,
that is not an orthodox way of directing music, but
yeah, I guess we should note that this is not like composing like the traditional sense where it's like, I guess, like someone sees the animation and they compose to it. It's like except for the creepy version of Awaken the Beast. Like, that's like the only, I think it's the only time where I completely fabricated a song like just for you.
I don't know what's going on, but
well, also there were even there were some unfinished songs even, you know, without spoiling anything too much. There's a theme in episode 7, in case you guys haven't watched it beyond this yet. There's a Spanish guitar kind of theme that was unfinished, but I loved it, and I thought, oh, this suits one of the upcoming characters really well. Can you do like a finished version of this? And then in like just a week, he like just pumped something amazing out, like from this thing that was just like a couple chords of din 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 din. I'm like, oh god, how do you do it?
More like a whole month, dude. Like, you're like, oh, just a week. Like,
it felt like it was really quick. I don't know.
Yeah.
Show me the real deal.
I always feel like I'm putting you on hold sometimes. Like, it's just like, oh crap, I gotta make that song for Chris. Like,
Well, I try to work ahead of time as much as possible so like I can give everybody
I'm glad you
creative
do.
freedom. Yeah. Oh no, Kerbuff, I'm a fur. Oh, you lose.
Dad.
Shady was killing himself in this episode, by the way, with doing the Demon Alpha screams and things.
Doing the,
Yeah. The way we did it was because he recorded all of Alpha's like dialogue ahead of time for me to animate to, but the Demon Alpha like sound design was done, you know, like it was done in ADR, so you know the animation would be finished, and then when he's doing the sound design, he would record the noises I need to fit the animation that was pre-existing, so it was just easier to do it that way. Unless I needed like a specific sound to animate to, but otherwise I was kind of go for it myself. But here's some fun little cameos who will be coming into play later. And now here, this I know was another big thing. This character right here, this was a big deal for people. Was Zeto coming in a little earlier than people expected, but I was really happy with how it turned out. Now this theme, I don't know this. So this track is called "Survive the Drama," and immediately when I heard this, I'm like, this is going to be Zeto's theme. This is going to be Zeto versus Demon Alpha. And I cannot tell you. Okay, I had this scene that we're watching right now in my head for over a year, set to this music. Like I knew this is exact. I loved Survive the Drama so much. Is there like a story behind like the title or this music? Like, what was
the
it
title.
for?
I think yeah. When I made this song, I actually tried to stop using not stop, but like I wanted to not. Try something that didn't just use like 8-bit or 16-bit like sound fonts. I actually wanted to try a VST, something that like wasn't just like a piano roll. Like it actually had like all these settings and stuff. And this was my like experiment with it. And I remember, I think this was during like
Now I can tell you're a different story.
shoot, when did I make this song? I just remember I actually like wrote like a rap song for it, like, and then like I didn't actually sing it, but like I just did it because I wanted to make it sound like that, and then
Missed me.
it just, the way it sounded like something, there was some kind of drama going on, like I don't know, like it was just like when I think of titles, I just kind of listen to it and I type words down, whatever words just kind of go into my brain.
Yeah. I actually wrote lyrics to this too, believe it or not.
Yeah, it's music has a way of trying to get you to write lyrics for it, like.
This was a joy to animate too. This fight scene, I was really proud of it. Zeto's animation was really cool. Little energy beams.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of some other things we could mention about the music specifically. There's some stuff ahead of time I was planning for. It was cool too in some of the other episodes having like arrangements by other people. Like we had in episode 6 we had Stephen Kelly doing an orchestral like big Hollywood movie score version of Nihilok's theme, the desert music that you had.
Yeah,
and
I really like that one, by the way.
That's
pretty cool.
And then what was it? And then in episode 7, Living Tombstone did a really sad piano version of the. I guess I sort of consider it to be Flamey's theme, the modern futuristic city theme.
Yeah.
With, he did like a piano version of do 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 do. It's cool to like hear other people like trying their hand at that, because I mean like
I think it's cool.
Yeah, I mean, because like when you hear like the Mario theme or whatever, or like in different games, I mean those are always typically arranged by different artists who happen to be working on whatever that game is, but it's always the same original melody like by Koji Kondo. So it's neat to be able to hear other people do stuff with Kazu's melodies, because they are so memorable and they stand up as good as like any of those game themes do. And this is another one. This theme playing right here. What is it called? The Devastating Aftermath, I think.
Yeah.
I think originally 5 was going to end with Battle On again, like usual. I wasn't going to change the credits, but I decided, because 5, 6, and 7 are like the pre-tournament arc, I decided to have a different ending theme for each episode. So I decided to use Devastating Aftermath for this because it fit a lot better. For
I think it fits.
Yeah,
I mean, this is pretty cool. Right
I
here
think it fit way better than just like, you know.
It's like, oh, I just got killed.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Also, this scene coming up after the credits with some of the different users, you know, chatting about the Forbidden Power and they're like, oh, I got hurt, was actually added at the last second. I think that was an idea by Liz, my script supervisor. So thanks for that, Liz. Huh. And so yeah, so I'm really proud of this episode. People seem to really enjoy it, and it was definitely a start of like, okay, I got to top myself. I got to like really do better and better and better with each one. And, yeah. So as we're nearing the end here, we got a couple minutes left. Is there any other closing comments or things you wanted to share with our listeners?
Closing comments? I don't know. It's definitely I'm really like seeing this stuff put to use instead of just kind of sitting on my hard drive. Like, this is definitely cool stuff. Like, I actually really enjoyed episode 6 a lot. I watched that one a while ago, and that, I think, like, I don't know if the people watching this, if you haven't watched episode 6 and you're just watching the commentary for episode 5, like, go watch 6 because I really like that one.
And we will be having a commentary on that one as well coming soon. So yeah. But yeah, no, it's been a pleasure. I love all your music. I am always excited to hear new stuff with your music, and there are some tracks that you guys haven't heard yet. So you know, as we're continuing through the series, expect to hear more awesome music.
Yeah, I was actually surprised how many different songs you used in this one that you haven't used before. I was like, oh wow, he used that one. Oh wow, he used that one.
Yep.
Oh wow, he used that one.
And there's more than I'm saving for the future episodes. So.
Yep.
All right, folks. Well, hope you enjoyed listening, and go watch another episode. And thanks a lot.
Thanks for watching, everyone.